Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, I had things all figured out. I had a plan. I read a bunch of books. I was going to talk to y'all about the books. I was going to talk to y'all about how I get entirely too involved in the lives and love lives of the characters in my books. And then I got the new Kobo Libra, which y'all saw last week. I will link here in case you didn't see it. And then y'all blew up my chat with questions about the Kobo and what do I think about this and is it true that you can't do that? And I was like, all right, I'm just going to make me a list of those questions, and then when I do a deep dive, I'll just answer those questions. Then I started getting the, can you tell me this or can you explain that? Because I'm thinking about buying a Kobo. So now I feel like I need to go ahead and do my deep dive into the Kobo. So I tell you what, y'all go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I need to run, can you see here I have some packages? I need to run to Kohl's, drop off some Amazon returns, and then I'll go home, I'll get us set up on some cameras, I'll get my Kobo out, I'll go through my list of questions, I'll answer the questions y'all have already asked, and I'll tell you a bunch of things about the Kobo, and do probably the world's most shallow deep dive and tell you what I know about it so far. Then that'll give y'all the opportunity to decide if in fact you do want to buy it. Then you can ask me some more questions and we'll learn some more stuff. All right, so let me do this. I'll get back there and we'll do that. All right, so y'all sit tight. All right, y'all, as you can see, we made it home. I got us set up. Well, you can't see, but I got us set up. I have a camera so you can see my Surface, no, not my Surface tablet. When we get to it, I'll tell you why I'm talking Surface tablets, but you can see I have my Kobo Libra color here. It's sleeping right now. Let me show you. So I'm going to try not to go back over all the things that I talked about in my unboxing and my first look. I want to get into how it works, what it does, and things that I think will help you sort of understand the thing. And it seems like maybe a lot of people are trying to decide if they want it or not. I think I might have said that in the car. So I'm going to try to stay on task and do kind of a what it is, what it does, and give you a sense of the experience of using the tablet and reading on it. So here it is. There's the cover of my book. Now let's get into it. Did I just show you the power buttons on the back? And I've got you know what, let me take the cover off mine. I just have this little, I haven't even decorated it yet. I just have this little cheapy plastic cover, the same thing I put on all of my e-readers. But so here's the actual thing. There's the power button. So I'm going to switch to this camera so you can really see, and you can see over here I have, can you see over here? I have notes on my Supernote. So I'm going to try to stick with my notes, go in order, and actually get us through this thing in a reasonable amount of time. So let me, you know what, hang on, let me arrange some things. All right, that might be better. I'm going to try to do everything facing in the same direction. So here it is. And like I said, that's when it's sleeping, the cover is the book that you're reading. And you can see I'm 27% of the way through Leather and Lark. Y'all, if we were talking books today, we'd be talking books today, but we're not. So let's move on. Let me wake her up and let's just get straight into it. So let's look first at this. So there's the thing. When you wake it up, let's look first at this menu across the bottom. And you can see we have a home button, which obviously just brings us back home. We have a My Books, a My Notebooks, Discover, and then more. So let's just go quickly through each one of these. So the My Books is obviously, so this is the books that you have downloaded on the thing. And you can sort, there are different ways to sort. You can sort, I don't know if that's focusing, but you can sort by author, by series, by collection. And I've put some sort of various types of books on here so that we can get into them and mess around. But let's just jump straight into a book. And y'all, I'm not going to jump us into Leather and Lark because I'm a little bit concerned about what might be on the page. So let's jump into this John Grisham book. Let me tell y'all, this is of course on Bookerly, but Bookerly does not come, it's not one of the Kobo fonts. The very first thing that I did when I opened this thing was to go through the fonts and to set it on Bookerly. Didn't come with. So I did some Alta Vista-ing and learned that putting a new, remember when we did that on the Kindle, we put custom fonts on our Kindle, and there was some shenanigans to that. For the Kobo, All you have to do is plug the thing into your computer. You'll see a fonts folder. You find the font that you want to put on there, download the font onto your computer, drag it into the fonts folder, and Bob's your uncle, you have your new font. So that's what I did. So now I have Bookerly. Oops. Now I have Bookerly on here. And I just wanted to make it a little bit bigger. So you turn the pages just sort of the standard way. You can swipe left or right. You can tap, or we of course have our page turning buttons. And y'all, I'll show you where this is when we get into settings, but the standard setup for the, y'all are looking like right over my shoulder. The standard setup for the page turn buttons is the top button goes back and the bottom button goes forward. I'm a forward on top kind of girl, so I switched it. So my forward button, or my top button goes forward and my bottom button goes back. Does it matter? I don't know. It would drive me crazy if my top button went back. So anyway, you can turn pages the standard ways: swipe, tap, or button click. Let's get, I think you just saw my on-screen menu. So to get to the on-screen menu, you just tap in the middle of any screen, like the screen on any page, and it gets you to this on-screen menu. Now, the menus, maybe not all the menus, but many of the menus are going to be different depending on the type of book that you're in. So let's look at this menu, and then I'll show you some different, well, I'll show you what I mean. So the menu across the top, the first thing that I get in sort of a standard book is just the pen, right? Because I have the stylus, I have the option of writing on the screen. So this allows me to control that. Now that I have the stylus, I'm going to use it to click stuff. Then we have the, how you can set how your thing rotates. You can either auto rotate or set it in portrait so that when you turn, it doesn't turn. You can set it in landscape. So again, when you turn, it doesn't turn. Or hang on, does it? Okay, so it'll turn, like it'll orient, can y'all see that? It'll orient itself up, like upright, but it's gonna stay in portrait, right? So the portraits will go either way, but I'm sorry, landscape. The landscapes will go either way, but it's gonna stay in landscape. Now, I gotta get back to my, top menu, reset my thing. Okay, stop clicking, stop clicking. All right. And portrait, I'm sure will do the same thing. I know that it will. So if you're a lefty or a righty, or sometimes you're a lefty and sometimes you're a righty, you can just rotate and it'll flip. But again, it's not going to go into landscape now because I have it locked in portrait. So I'm going to go back into that menu and set it to auto rotate. Now, I got a bunch of questions about the lighting. There were a couple questions about, folks have read that the lighting is really harsh and that you can't warm it up. There's no warm light. Here's the dealio. Y'all, this is a color e-ink screen. So I think a lot of times the screen is darker than it is if you're used to just a not color e-ink screen. The screen is not as dark as it is on a color e-ink screen. So you have to have your light, your brightness turned up a little more to get the same effect that you would on, say, a Kindle. Yeah, because none of the Kindles are color. None of the e-ink Kindles are color. So you have to have your light turned up a little more, and that might make for a harsher, reading experience. But then you have this, they call it natural light. It's sort of like this candlelight thing. And y'all, you can bust this thing all the way up to like an amber color. So you just kind of have to get a comfortable balance for yourself between, look how blue it gets. You can have like super bright, that would make me very uncomfortable trying to read that for long. But if you need it bright, you can bring up the natural light to tone down that glare. So yes, it does have warm light. No, I have not experienced that the brightness affects my eyes. And I think there was another question about the warmness. I think maybe I answered that. If not, I have the questions written down. I'm going to go over those at the end. So there's that. You can turn on, much like some of the Kindles that will change automatically based on the ambient light in the room. You have that here, or you can set it to bedtime to change things at certain times. Y'all know my bedtime is not 11 o'clock. That is way late with the big kids, and I'm just not that cool. There's also this Learn More, where if you're like, I just don't know, you can click Learn More and it'll walk you straight through all that. So that's that. This is a little bit too warm for me. It's making me want to take a nap. So I'm going to turn, there we go, the warmth down just a little bit. We have the appearance setting in here now. There was a question about making the text bold. And I believe because on the Kindle, you can set your font family, you can set your font size, and then how bold you want the font. I have not found that in the Kobo. If you can do it, I don't know how to, but you can. You know what? I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to get out of book early because I don't want to be disingenuous. I want to give you the true, like, Kobo-ish effect. So, or like the Kobo experience, right? So, and maybe, I just feel like we should probably look at a more, like an actual Kobo font when we're messing with the Kobo if we're trying to get the thing. So anyway, so here, I don't know, I just picked one. I don't know which of these are good because they're not, let's do that one. Oh, that's a nice one. So this is a font that actually came on the thing. So let's mess around with this a little bit. Let me go back into that menu. And so I can change the font size, and you can see, like down here, you can see the font changing as I do this. I can change the size. Ooh, that's too small. I can change the line spacing, and there are plus and minus buttons where you can do that. So you can either swipe the slider or you can do pluses or minuses. You can mess with your margins here. You can justify or not. So that's that. That's all in your like AA like appearance menu. I wonder, wait, is that the, look, y'all, we found it. Here's the bold thing. Did I tell y'all I just got this thing? I don't, so hang on, let's go back. Look, so here's the before and after. Now I want to see, let's apply that. But now I want to see if it did it in Bookerly. I think I never actually went into that advanced thing. So the answer is yes, you can adjust your, where's my Bookerly now? There it is. Yep, it's in advanced. I believe, so on the Kindle it's called bold, right? Like the how bold you want the text. In here I believe it's just weight, right? Because look at what it's doing. Look at the change on the before and after, like it's making the actual lines thicker and less thick. And then you can also mess with your font size in here. So it doesn't have as many clickable settings as the Kindle does, but I think it's perfectly workable, especially now that we just found that. Y'all, I'm stoked. Thank you for walking me through that, or walking through that with me. And I'm leaving it on Bookerly. I'll switch it back if we feel like we need to see things. So there's that. Here's this fun little menu. I don't even know what this thing is called, but so this shows you your progress. It shows you how much you've read, how many, oh, this is, so in my chapter, how long to the next chapter, how long in the book, and how many hours to go in the book based on my reading speed. So there's that. And then let's look at, before we get into this little like settings wheel, let's go to, I want to get out of this, and let's get into, Diary of a Wimpy Kid definitely has different options. Because it is sort of comic-like, you have some other options. Look at this one. So this will allow me to change the appearance of the text like within the, sort of like within the display. So watch the size of the actual like text presentation. So I can make it bigger or smaller, and that's not just changing the font, that's changing the whole picture. I can make it fit the screen up and down, and I can rotate it. So you see how my menu's not moving, just the actual like text is moving. So that you get that, I guess, with books that are more sort of comic-ish, right? Have more picture orientation. So let's get out of here. I want to go back into the genre. I really want to go into Leather and Lark, but like I said, I'm afraid of what might pop up there. So I'm trying to stick to my notes because I don't want this to be an hour long, and I'm afraid it's already going to be. So let's look at what's in settings. So, and inside, I know y'all just saw that, and it's just like standard, but like the little gear thing right there is settings. So you can change how your header appears, how your footer appears. You can say whether you want to show your book progress bar. Here's where you can switch your buttons. So I am inverted, whatever. Y'all, forward on top is normal, but whatever, don't shush, y'all just hush. So that's page 1 of the thing. Page 2, you can decide how you want your page to appear, when you want it to refresh. So you can refresh the screen every chapter, like however often you want it to refresh. I just have it refreshing every chapter. You can change your reading orientation here. That's that little button we looked at the top. How you want your EPUBs to show up. You can turn on dark mode here. Rainbow effect, I think is like, I think that's like if you're reading a comic and I believe it's kind of like color staining on the page. If that keeps happening, you can turn off or turn on reduced rainbow effect and it'll reduce that. All right. And y'all, if I'm completely wrong on that, please let us know in the comments because I don't know nothing about reading no comics. This is cool. So I should probably mess with this because y'all see I keep trying to mash the middle of the page and get the menu to come up and I keep hitting the wrong places. You can decide how you want your screen to respond when you tap it. So like if you want back to be here, front to be here, and the whole middle to be like the menu thing, or if you want just your menu at the bottom and that much forward and that much back, you can see it. You can change them the way you want. If you want to pinch to adjust font size, yes please. Turn that on or off. Swipe left edge to adjust brightness. This is pretty slick. Let's finish this and then I'll show you that because I'm gonna forget where I am if I get out of here. And then, so you can either tap or swipe to turn your page, or you can make it so that it's swipe only. So like if you tend to tap or like touch the screen or whatever, and you don't want that to turn your page, just turn it off. So there's that. Let's get out of here. So I've already forgotten where I was. See, I need to reset that. I need to figure out where I want to tap to open the menu and set it that way. What were we going to do? So this swipe left edge to adjust brightness, I have it on because check this out. Right? Now you can turn that off if you want to. Like again, if especially if you have dexterity challenges and maybe you're going to have issues not touching things that you don't want to touch, just turn it off. It gives you total control over that, which is super slick. But I think that's pretty cool. So I'm leaving it on. Have I used it even once yet? No, but don't judge me. So this is another, so the 3 dots menu is another one that changes based on the book that you're in. So I checked this book out from Overdrive, and we're going to talk about that in a minute too. But so because I checked it out from Overdrive, one of my options in the menu, I just returned it. No, don't return it. Be careful what that asks, Eugene. So I'm going to point with my finger now. So of course there's your wish list. You can return your Overdrive books, write a review, view details, and that's the it takes you here to See details of the book. It tells you about the book, other related books, books that other folks enjoyed. Let's get back into. Now it's just going to be funny watching me fumble around trying to mash that button in the middle. There's a dictionary. I believe you have to download it. Y'all, there's very little chance of me reading for even a day without looking up a word. So I may have downloaded the dictionary. I don't know that it comes already downloaded, but it's, you know, just your standard. It's an all right little display. Again, as I mentioned, I think I told y'all, I feel like this thing is quick, that it responds very quickly when you type on it or tell it to do things. So, dictionary, related books, we just saw that. It'll show you, this is the next in the series. So it'll show you if there are other books related to this book or other books that people who read this book liked as well. Then it'll give you that. Y'all, those are great for if you have a kiddo who's reading a book and they're like, what am I going to read next? Hit related items or related books. Or if you have a reluctant reader, God bless you, and you've found something that they like and you're like, what am I going to have them read next? They're about to finish the Harry Potter books. Where do we go from here? Artemis Fowl. But hit related books, see what they have to offer. And then hints and tips, look, it's showing me where to hit my menu. So this again is just tips about how to use the thing. So that's your, look, Gator fan myself, not my friend. We're not friends with you. Go dogs. All right, let me get out of here. Let's look at, so that was an Overdrive book. Leather and Lark is an EPUB, right? Because I bought it on Kindle and downloaded it as an EPUB file. So as an EPUB file, all I get is view details, dictionary, and hints and tips because it doesn't have all of that like metadata to recommend other books and do all the things. So, I mean, it's fine. Let's see what. Mark is unread, mark is finished, add to collection or remove. So those are the only things it's going to allow me to do with this EPUB file. I'm trying to think what other kind of books I have in here. Let's go to, oh yeah, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Oh, Terrible 2 was also, I was going to say Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a Kobo Plus book. It's a Kobo Plus book, and Kobo Plus is like Kindle Unlimited, like you pay $7.99, $8.99, some $99 a month, and you can read. I don't know what their deal is. I'll look into it and we'll talk about it another day. Or somebody let us know in the comments, is it really unlimited or is it unlimited like that Everand is unlimited, which it's unlimited as long as you just read what they want you to read. But whatever. So this is a Kobo Plus book. So this is the menu that I get with that. I can redeem 6,400 points, add it to my wish list, write a review, view details, dictionary, related books, and then hints and tips. And this one should have a bunch of related books. Oh, it's only showing me next in the series. All right, whatever. So that's that for those. While we're here, let's go into Overdrive. Overdrive is a program that lets you access library books straight, like electronic versions of library books. Now, Libby, many of you know about Libby. Libby is, I think, like a sub thing under Overdrive. But so Overdrive, you just go in, you set it up, you put in your library card number, and now I'm able to check out books from my library system straight on my Kobo. So let me show you how completely easy that is. I can go into Overdrive and just pick a book. I'm not picking a Ta-Nehisi Coates book. How about Susan Mallory book? And I can buy it or I can borrow it with Overdrive. Connecting to Overdrive. And I've checked the item out. So now if I go to my books, it should be there. Oh, there it is. Give it a second. So there it is. Now I can read. We talked about turning pages, right? You can swipe, you can tap, you can click. We can change the brightness if we want to. Let's not get all crazy. But you know what? I'm trying to make it where y'all can see better. All right, so while we're in here, let's talk about actually reading a book. It does many of the standard things. If you long press, you can highlight. You can, oh, you know what? I don't know how to, if I add a note here, let's see, because whatever letters, just letters. Okay. If I add a note in here, you see how we get the little like footnote thing on the end? And then if I touch the little footnote thing, it opens up my note and I can edit it from there or do whatever from there. I'm going to long press something else instead of messing with that. I can also, if I hit search instead, I can search in the book for that same word. So if I'm looking for instances of, I don't know, hijacking in a book, just made that up, then I can look up that word and then search it in the book. I can search it with Wikipedia. Now, the Wikipedia page is a little sketch. Like, it's not beautiful, but it's workable, right? And I don't have to come out of my book to go look something up in Wikipedia and then go back into my book. Or I can Google from here. And again, I'm not getting out of my book to go into Google to look something up like on my phone and risking getting into like email and text messages and Facebook and just quickly checking to see if anybody's commented on the video that I posted or any of those things. So I'm hopefully avoiding all of those distractions that I would get if I got on like some sort of tablet or phone or something. So let me get out of the Google. We can, of course, highlight. And then I can add a note to my highlight if I want to. Now, here's something moderately annoying. I can't handwrite in my note. I have to type here if I want to add a note, but I can handwrite directly onto the screen, which is super slick, and I love that about this thing. I like to have, even though I really like writing in pink, because I don't know, I'm a pink girl, I like having a bolder looking text or like stroke when I'm writing in a book. So you can make it cuter, but I feel like to write in a book, for me, I just like to have it bolder. There's the eraser. You can just flip your stylus around and erase. Super slick. Love that. And can y'all see the smart button right there? There's a little button right there, and I can hold the button down and highlight. So we'll get into the stylus in a minute. Let's get through the book. So talked about long pressing. Let's go back to my books. And you can see here, so I'm in the My Books. We talked about this before. We can sort by authors, series, collections. We'll talk about my notebooks in a minute, but let's go into Discover. And so this is where Overdrive is. Kobo Plus is in here. We talked a little bit about Kobo Plus. You can get audiobooks. It's Bluetooth capable. You can listen to audiobooks with a Bluetooth device and then ebooks. Now, this is super slick. So I'm just going to pick Fourth Wing because if you know, you know. Now, I have the option to buy Fourth Wing here for $14.99. I can add it to my wish list. Or if I click the three little dots here, it tells me I can place on hold with Overdrive. So I can put it on hold straight from here with Overdrive. Or if it were available from my library, oh, let's look at Babel. Is it Babel or Babel? I'm never really sure. This is on my you really, really, really need to read list. Okay, good, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, if it's available right now, I should go ahead and check it out and start reading it. And it's put on hold with Overdrive. So, because like I own the book, but then I would have to buy the, anyway, Y'all get outside my head, I know. Anyway, so I like that if you're in here like browsing ebooks, you can look and see if it's available to check out. And then let me see if I place it on hold. Okay, it doesn't tell me how long the hold, like what the wait is for the hold, which on Libby, I think usually it does. So now I'm a little bit obsessed with looking at books. Let's check. So Encyclopedia of Fairies, interestingly enough, is not available from my library through Overdrive. So I know that by looking here because Overdrive is not an option. So let's just get out of there. So you get the idea. So there's ebooks, audiobooks, Kobo Plus, and Overdrive in Discover. Let's go quickly through them more because now we're getting into, we've been here forever. My wish list, you can connect, like you can log into your My Dropbox or Google Drive. I meant to hook up my Google Drive here and I didn't, and I'm not going to do it right now. But so that you can access documents from your Google Drive straight on here, work on them, and then save them back to your Google Drive. You can do your Pocket. You can log into your Pocket account if you want to read articles on here, like news articles. I almost said newspaper articles because I'm 100. But if you want to read news articles on here, you can look on here and see your activity. There are some cute beta features. There's a web browser. Y'all, I'm not even going to get into the web browser. It's okay. It's functional. So like if you're out and about and you're on this and you're like on your hotspot and you need to quick Google something, it's functional, but you're not going to be sitting there watching YouTube videos on it. Let me just say that. There's large print mode and My Words, where you can save the words that you look up, like Vocabulary Builder in Kindle. That's whatchamacallit. It's in beta on here. So hopefully they'll work that out. Settings. So these are all just your sort of standard settings, your accounts. You can log into all your things here, set your date and time, all of that stuff. You can set how often you want it to sync and what you want it to do with updates, those kind of things. So let's talk a little about the stylus. The Stylus 2 is the one that works with this device. I'm guessing since it's called a Stylus 2, there is a Stylus 1. This is my first Kobo, so I never had any other stylus, any other like Kobo kind of stylus. And I did no research on this thing, I just bought it. This thing was like 70 bucks. And it's like, I'm fine with it. It's got a good feel to it. I like it. It's got the little clicky button that allows you to highlight, and the end is an eraser. But y'all, and I kind of looked around a little bit, but didn't do any, okay, I didn't do any real research at all. So it is, I believe it's called an MPP stylus. It's the kind that you use with a Surface tablet. So if you want the stylus to go with the thing and you don't want to spend the 70 bucks or whatever it is, you can go on Amazon and buy the kind of stylus that you can buy to go with your Surface tablet for $35, and it works just fine. Here's the difference though. This one, it's got the end button, but the functions are reversed, which at first I was like, well, that's sketch. I'm sending this back. But here's the deal. So hang on, let me slow down. Let me get us into a notebook. I'm going to talk about notebooks. But no, you know what? Let's just go back into a book. We're not going back into Leather and Lark because I'm not going to embarrass myself. Let's go back into here. And so with this one, if I click the button, I can highlight, and then the eraser erases. Or if I write, I can erase. But y'all, I got to thinking when I was messing with this stylus, which feels a little bit lighter, but it's still, now they feel very, very similar. I can write with it, but the button erases instead of highlighting. Now, which am I more likely to do on a daily basis? Highlight or erase? You might be more of a highlighter. I'm an eraser, especially if I'm actually writing with the thing. So I can write and erase with this end and then highlight oh, I shifted it. Hang on. And now I'm scribbling on myself. Let me click and erase all that. And I can highlight with the eraser end. So, like I said, at first I was like, that sketch, I don't like that, but now I kind of like it. So I have the real pen, the real stylus that, you know, writes and highlights and erases. And then I have the sort of sketch stylus that writes and erases and highlights. I just have to remember which one I'm using at the time. So you've seen what it does in the book. Let's talk about where you're really like meant to use these, which is in the notebooks. And I'm going to use the authentic stylus. So I kind of panned this thing because of the slickness of the screen, which I still don't love, but I was gonna, y'all know the original plan was I was gonna use the thing for a while before I talk to y'all, and I wanted to get maybe try a screen protector that would give it a little more traction. And I don't have that, but I have been messing with it and I do kind of like it. So let's look at some of the notebook features. So when you go in to create a notebook, you can create a basic notebook, an advanced notebook, or a folder. Now, a basic notebook, I'm just going to call it U. I don't know why. A basic notebook is just a plain old piece of paper. You can write on it, you can draw on it, you can do whatever you want to on it. And then, I don't know if y'all saw at the top, but this little down arrow gives me a menu where I can grab my eraser. I can change the page background, which is pretty cool. So you can drop in templates. I've actually used some of these. They're pretty cool. There's do y'all know this one? Cornell. So you like take notes. I can't write because of the way that I'm sitting, but like you take notes in here and here. Like you write your notes in here and here, and then you sort of summarize them here, or like write an action plan here. But I know that wasn't the point of any of that. But yeah, so you can change your backgrounds or your templates. You can, let me go back. You can erase like individual things. You can clear your whole page. You can delete your page. You can do all the things. So that's a regular notebook. Or you can create an advanced notebook. And let's call it Bob. Let's save Bob. Now Bob comes with lines because the idea of Bob is that you can, it's kind of a smart notebook. You see, I hand wrote Bob, double tapped it, and it did like handwriting to typed text. Now you can do buy fruit for dinner. I don't know if it's going to read that. Let's see how well it does, because that's just chicken scratch. So I can tell it to convert all. Buy a fruit for dinner. Not bad. It threw in an buy a fruit for dinner. But, so I'm not going to spend forever here, but y'all can see the things that this smart notebook will do. You can insert drawing, insert diagram, insert math equation, insert freeform section. You can convert, clear, and you can export. So you can export from here to your Dropbox or your Google Drive, and then from there do what you need to with it. So that's pretty slick. I'm gonna get out of here because I don't want to be doing any of those things. And y'all, I think that's all of this that I wanted to show you. And this is seriously going forever, but there is one more thing that I want to do. So let me end this. I need to make dinner for the intern anyway. And then I'm going to get us set up upstairs on the computer. I'll probably wait and do it in the morning, but I'll get us set up on the computer upstairs. And I want to show you how to convert a Kindle book so it'll work on your Kobo. So y'all sit tight. I'll meet you upstairs in the office and we'll do that and then we'll be done. All right, so sit tight. All right, y'all, we have obviously made it upstairs to my computer room It's the next day. I never made it back to y'all yesterday. I'm sorry, but I want to show you two things on Calibre and then we're out. Before I do that, I forgot to tell you about annotations on the device. And this matters because one of the things I want to show you on Calibre is about annotations. So I'm not going to reset up like a whole like camera thing shot of the device again. And trust me, you'll thank me for that, because if I do, I'm going to get all back into the thing and start talking again. I'm just going to hold my camera and show you the device. So let me just show you. So we're in a book. And if you look down here, this bottom menu, if I touch that, this is the table of contents, right? So I can go to different chapters in the book, just jump around within the book. But over here in that menu, there's this little like notebook paper looking thing. If you click on that, or up here at the top, you can do the same thing. It takes you to your annotations, and that'll show you everything that you highlighted in the book, and it'll show you your handwritten annotations. So that's pretty cool. So you can get to all of your annotations here in one place in the book. And if you touch that, like if you touch one of your highlights, it'll jump you to where that annotation is in the book. So that's pretty cool. One of the questions that I had from a viewer was about annotations. If the annotations are like linked to the book or like stuck in the book, or if you can get them essentially off of your device like you can on other devices. And other devices make it fairly easy. To my understanding so far anyway, on the Kobo, it's not quite that easy. You can use Readwise, which seems to work pretty well with Kobo, and that's a paid app or like a paid site that you can use to keep track of all of your highlights and like all of your annotations across all of your devices, pretty much across everywhere that you read. It's a pretty cool little site, and we might do a deep dive on that one day, but that works pretty seamlessly with the Kobo. There are other things you can do that are more sort of like copy this and code that and carry it here and paste it there. There are a lot of steps involved in those. I don't really understand them yet. I might figure them out one day and do a video on those. I am not there anywhere near there yet, but I can tell you how to do it using Calibre. So I want to talk about that on Calibre, and I want to talk about how to use Calibre to get your Kindle books to where you can download them onto your Kobo. So let's jump over onto Calibre on my computer and we'll talk about how that works. So let me open Calibre. So hang on a second. All right, so we're in Calibre, which if you don't have Calibre, I'll stick the link in the description so you can download Calibre on your computer. So we're in Calibre, and y'all, I have come to understand that the key to using Calibre is the plugins. So let's start with annotations. We'll do annotations and then we'll do the Kindle one. So we need to go to preferences. So I'm on a Mac. I'm sure it's a little bit different on a PC, but it should be relatively the same. So I'm going to go to my like up top bar, click Calibre, click preferences, and here's what I get. So I'm going to go to plugins, and I'm going to click Get New Plugins. Now, y'all, I deleted Calibre off of my computer and re-downloaded it, but apparently my app zapper didn't get all the things because it remembered all the stuff. So all of this was still on my computer and went back into my Calibre. I was going to like redo the whole thing in real time with y'all, but I'm going to walk you through how to do this. So you pull up, hang on. I got to do this like step by step while I'm talking. So get new plugins, and then go up here to filter by name and type in annotations. And you see you get this annotations plugin. So I don't know what's going to happen if I click that because I already have it. Oh, it says not installed. Apparently it did zap it. So install. Blah, blah, warning. Look, I'm not telling y'all to do this to your computer. Enter at your own risk. It works for me, so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to tell it yes. Warning, warning, warning. Okay. Blase, blase. You need to restart Calibre. Okay, so I'm going to click restart. Hopefully it's going to restart right back in that little square. And here we are. So now you can see up here at the top, I have this little yellow highlighter, which was there before because like I said, I had this before. But before you download this plugin, you're not going to have that little yellow highlighter. So click that little yellow highlighter and go to Customize Plugin. And then you're going to need to click this little wand here And mine already has annotations typed in there. Yours is going to come in with nothing in it. So Annotations. Make sure you spell it with all the letters. So you're making a new column. So I'm telling it, call it annotations, and then rename custom column. Click, dude falling down. So mine says an existing column already exists because I already did this. You're going to get a dude falling down and it's going to say something about blah, blah, blah. Tell it fine, whatever. The dude will be fine. He'll get up. So I need to cancel this because I've already made that column, but yours will have you do that. I'm sorry, you guys. I tried to delete all this, but like I said, it didn't undo all my changes. So tell it all the clicks and then restart your Calibre again. And now, oh, I need to plug in. I unplugged my Kobo to show you guys that other thing. So let me plug it back in. And I have to tell it, yes, please. So connect. Do y'all know this? You just plug it in and then it comes up and says like recognized by computer or something. You hit connect and then it pops up as a drive on your computer. And so you can see now it didn't have that before. So like it didn't recognize my device until I plugged it in. So fetch annotations from connected device. And it's saying Kobo Touch, Artemis Fowl, and Leather and Lark. Well, I don't know what I highlighted in Leather and Lark. It's making me a little nervous. A little nervous. We'll go to Artemis. Artemis is going to be safe. So now it's pulled in all of my highlights here. So if I go to Artemis, watch this. So I right clicked on this, and if I go to, book details. If I go to book details and I tell it to show book details in a separate window, it pulls up. These are all of my highlights that I have in Artemis in a separate window, like in a way that I can read them. So that's how that works. All right. So that's how you can pull highlights or annotations off of your Kobo into your computer. Now, the other thing that we can do that's really helpful is to, hang on, let me get out of here. Let's talk about this for a minute and then we'll come back into the thing. Okay, so if you want to use your Kobo to read things, especially Kindle books, I'm sure Nook books as well, but I haven't done it with Nook books yet, so I can speak specifically to using it for Kindle books because I've done that. If you want to use your Kobo to read books that you bought on Amazon for your Kindle, you got to do some jiggering. And you have to, I think it's DRM. You have to remove the controls that Amazon puts on your books. And y'all, as long as you've bought the book and you're like removing the controls to use the book for yourself, it's fine. You're not violating copyright. First, you need to download a plugin, and it's the DRM or DMR. I think it's DRM app, and I'll put that link in the description as well. So go ahead and download that. Let's get back into Calibre, and I'll show you what we need to do. Go ahead, if you haven't already done so, download that DRM app. And y'all, if you're thinking, I did this, it didn't work for me, I have a step you might not know. So download that thing. Let's get into preferences. We go to plugins. Now this time we're going to go to load plugins from file and then go to wherever it downloaded to. Mine should be in downloads. There she is. Clickaroonie. Install, and there it is. So now my DRM plugin is there under file type. I don't know why it asked me to restart when I did this before, so I'm going to go ahead and restart. Yours probably is having you restart when you do this. So I just went ahead and manually restarted Calibre, and now if I go back to preferences and plugins, go up under file type, and there it is. Now, here's the trick, y'all. If you double click on DRM, you get this whole like completely intimidating list of things you can do. Here's what we want to do. We need to link our Kindle to Calibre. So click Kindle e-ink ebooks. That's what we want to link. So click that. And we need to go and get the serial number of the Kindle that we want to link to Calibre. Now, I'm going to just link my Office Kindle to it. So you can do it manually, right? You can go into your Kindle, find your serial number, type it in. I've never had success doing that, y'all. I am bound to flip some numbers, do a number instead of a letter, do something. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go into Amazon and copy and paste my Kindle serial number out of Amazon. I'm going to show y'all how to do that. So give me a second. Let me get into Amazon. Sorry, I had to jump out and take a quick Zoom call. So I'm not sure exactly where we were, but we're in Amazon, and I believe, we were going to get the the serial number from my Office Kindle to put into Calibre. So super simple. You just go to your lists. Up here at the top, you just click on Accounts and Lists or hover over it, and then go to Content Library. And under here, I'm just going to click on over, you can go to Devices. And now under my devices, I'm going to go to Kindle. And I have more than one. Y'all may know this about me. Hi, my name's Danielle. I have a problem. I have more than one Kindle. So I've named my Kindles, and it's Office Kindle that I want. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see right here, serial number. So I'm simply going to copy that, and I'm going to dip back out of here, jump back over into e-ink Kindle serial numbers. I'm going to hit that green plus where it says e-ink Kindle serial number. I'm going to paste that serial number. Now, I don't know if this is going to jack things up because it's already in here on mine, but that's in there. I hit close. Okay. I'm going to get out of all of this. And now I'm ready to use Calibre to DRM a Kindle book. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump back over to Amazon, and I'm going to go to my content library now. And I'm going to go to books. Now, if you have books that you've checked out of anywhere, if you have them from Kindle Unlimited, if you've checked them out from a library, this will not work. You can't download them this way. So you have to go to a book that you've bought. So let's go to, I don't remember which ones of these I bought and which ones are on Kindle Unlimited. I could have sorted, but that's all right. So you go to More Actions. Here's what you need. You need Download and Transfer via USB. So look, like MindF, I think is on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, see, I have this one on Kindle Unlimited. So it didn't give me the option to download, but this one I have the option to download. So, oops, click the wrong button. So I'm going to hit Download and Transfer via USB. Now watch, here's the important, sorry, I don't mean to point at you. I need to do it to my Office Kindle because that's the one that I just added to Calibre. So do that, hit Download, done and dusted. All right, so now that's in there. Shadow in the, I have to look and make sure what it was. Shadow in the Ember. So now I'm going to jump back over to Calibre, which hopefully I can just open from here. Okay, good. So I jump back over to Calibre, and I'm going to go to Add Books. See up here in the corner, Add Books. And there it is right there. And it's in my Downloads file. I just double click that. And it's going to get it, and it got it. So Shadow in the Ember. Oh, look, it's Jennifer Armentrout. Love her. So now we have the book. Now we need to convert it, right? Because now it's a Kindle book and it's just in my Calibre. So I'm going to go up here to the top to, so it's, you see it's highlighted. And I'm going to hit Convert Books. And oh, we need a bigger, well, can I make that smaller? Sorry, it popped up huge. But so when it popped up, you can see up here, it says output format. And I think the default output format is going to be EPUB, which is what I want for, I almost said Roku. How'd that get in my brain? Which is what I want for the, Kobo. So I tell it okay, and it goes to work. One job, and done. So now I'm going to just open my Kobo, which is still plugged in. It's on my computer. And I'm going to drag it into this. Oh, it's right there. Good. Y'all can see it. So you see my Kobos right here. Let me see if this wants to work. If I just grab the book, which is now an EPUB, drag it onto my Kobo, and you can see it right there. It's now on my Kobo. So let's get out of all of this. And just for proofsies, so my Kobo is still, can you see that? It's still hooked up to the computer. So let me eject it. And y'all, I know people do stuff and like fake edit stuff all the time. This, honest to goodness, this is real time. So I just unplugged it from my computer like right then. And look, there's the book right there. That's the book we just downloaded. Shadow of the Ember, Shadow something Ember. I can't even see it. A Shadow in the Ember. So now it's EPUB. Right? Y'all, we've been here for an hour. I'm not going to get all up into this. We'll do this like slow and dirty one day. We'll do a slow deep dive into Calibre and all of that. But that's all you have to do. Now, I know that was like a million steps. But now that you have your Calibre all set up, you have the DMR on there, you have your Kindle loaded into it. Now, all that you have to do from now on is, let's jump back over here for just one more second, y'all. I figure we're in for a penny, in for a freaking hour at this point, right? So now you have this all set up to DMR your books. So now all that you have to do is you go through, you download a book from your Kindle onto your computer. And then from here, you just do add books. You see I did The Dead Guy Next Door, right? You add it from there. I had already done it, but you drag it in and then you convert it. So from now, like now you've already done all the back stuff. You're to the point where you just bring in a book from Kindle, download a book from Kindle onto your computer, bring it from your downloads into Calibre, convert it there, and then drag it from Calibre over onto your Kobo. So it's like a, 30-second, maybe 1 minute process now that you've done all the background stuff. So I hope that helps. Let me get off here and talk to y'all like humans. So I hope that helps y'all. I hope that I answered all of the questions that you had about specifically the Kobo Libra 2 color. If not, ask questions in the comments. If you have questions based on this 3-hour-long jaunt through the Kobo Libra, ask in the comments, because I do want to do a deep dive once I've messed around with it for a while. I just kind of wanted to go ahead and do this to let you know what I've learned so far. So y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos at the beginning of every week with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.